Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Discord, we got Josh.
Hey,
We have Worlds Collide, WWE and AAA going head-to-head coming up this weekend in Las Vegas. We're gonna do our best. If we preview enough of these shows, we're gonna start to learn who the AAA folks are, and we'll get better and better each time as we go along. But first up, we've known about the main event for quite a while, AAA Mega Championship, Vikingo, Dominic Mysterio. Are they going to switch it here? I know we talked a little bit about El Grande coming in for that title. What do you think's happening in the main event?
I think the faction that wanted Dominic to win it at the last event, I think won out in the end. Because it's very interesting that it was straight up a one-on-one match with Dominic.
Mm-hmm.
And I have said this pretty much the entire time. I think Dominic wins and carries both titles onto Raw the next night.
Yeah, I think Dominic is obviously getting pretty well featured. We saw him defeat AJ Styles, retain his title last week. AJ Styles is getting mixed in with El Grande because El Grande's interfering on behalf of Mysterio. Could potentially be a tag team match down the line, but for now, yeah, it could be two belts Dom.
It's
Then
definitely not like it's a necessary situation where it's like a person that's on the main event that doesn't really need two titles. It's somebody who's on their way up that can also be used to elevate AAA because one of the top stars is Dom. People typically don't like Dom. So that's going to get more people interested in seeing him defend it. And he can also hold this over his father. His father never held a world championship with AAA. So,
yeah, I think there's a lot there. I do think that eventually, like within the year, a WWE star will be holding the AAA Mega Championship. Is it this? Is it El Grande? Really hard to tell. Especially since El Grande seems to, be playing super heel on WWE, and then he goes over to AAA and plays super face. So we'll have to see how that match all shakes out for sure. And then the tag team championships were also on the line. Psycho Clown Pagano just picking up the titles at the last Worlds Collide, or at the last crossover event, Triple Mania. Probably have new champ buff, and they're going up against the New Day.
that's the thing that kind of shatters the new champ buff is the New Day along with the Usos are pretty much in that Roman Reigns type of discussion, Cody Rhodes discussion. If they're involved in the match, you cannot bet against them.
Mm-hmm.
I I think a win here for the for Pagano and Psycho Clown would be gigantic for them and AAA. I just don't know. I kind of think the New Day wins. I don't know
Yeah,
why. Just something tells me the New Day wins.
I get it. I'm torn on this as well. I'm torn between exactly that. The new champ buff, we just had a big celebration with them when they won the titles at the last show. And the fact that it is the New Day, one of the most decorated tag teams in WWE history. And do they want to add a AAA Tag Team Championship to that? Probably. If this was, let's say Psycho Clown and Pagano had had the titles for 6 months coming into this match, I would call it a no-brainer. I wouldn't even be debating this. It is just because they are new champions. That's the only thing that has me potentially wavering on the pick of the New Day.
But I think them winning here would also like play into their whole thing with them having a funeral for the tag division and stuff. And it's like we were so distraught over the state of the Raw tag team division. We went to Mexico to win a title, and that's I think the thing that tipped me over. It's like as you said, they're not just one of the most decorated tag teams in WWE history. They're one of the most decorated tag teams in all of history. And adding a AAA title reign would would be something that I don't think even the Dudley Boys can say.
Yeah, it definitely puts them up there. If they, they're already up there, but it puts them up there, and I think looks pretty cool on their record for sure. One last championship on the line, Latin American Championship. We just saw Dr. Wagner Jr. Pick up the championship at the last match he got, at the last show he got that buff as well. But it will be a fatal four-way with Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, and NXT's Ethan Page.
With the stuff that Ethan Page has been doing, I would absolutely love to see him win the title here. I think it would work perfectly with his gimmick, with the fact that he's with him being the North American champion for NXT. Well, I guess Canadian champion. I don't know. But technically North American champion. But I don't think it's a good idea to like put all their titles on WWE guys. And you did say this guy just won the title.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with a retention.
Yeah, I think that's most likely the outcome here. We saw Ethan Page as well, defending his title last time. I think the crowd hated him, which was exactly what you want here. JD had a pretty big reception last time. He was on a AAA card as well. Dragon Lee, always a pleasure to see show up. So yeah, happy to see the Fatal 4-Way, but this one feels a bit more like a showcase of the talents involved and less so where a title may change hands. So I'm firmly in the corner of a retention for Dr. Wagner Jr. on this one. Now, we've got a number one contendership match. The AAA Women's Championship did not change hands at the last show, and this time it will be Natalya taking on Fabia Apache to see who will get that title shot at a future date.
I like the what they've done with what Natalya has done with her independent shows and stuff with her character.
Mm-hmm.
But I think based on the fact that the person she's facing has won the title that this number one contendership is for 4 times and is among like the leading champions of that title ever. I think I'm going to apply the Roman Reigns logic here, even though I have no clue about this person, and I'm just going to say I think Daddy is not going to win.
Yeah, I'm a little wary, as you said, about putting all of the titles onto WWE folks, and this is the two out of the triple threat from last show from Triple Mania that are not Flammer the champion. So it makes sense here, but if we saw anything out of the end of that triple threat, it was that Natalya has enemies, and I guess we haven't resolved that piece. So entirely likely here that Natalya does get either attacked or there's a distraction that does lead to Apache coming out on top and setting up that classic rematch, as you say. Apache Flammer have been at it for this title back and forth many a times. Both of them, some of the most recognized champs with that title. So I think that makes the most sense. Would I be sad if Natalya gets a title shot? No. I would love to see it, and similarly to the New Day picking up the tag titles, I think it would be cool to see Natalya pick up the title here as well, but you just got to balance it. You can't have every single championship running around on a WWE guy. It just doesn't look amazing when you buy the company and within a couple months you're running around every champion you've sort of put your people in.
Yeah. You also can't have WWE guy people winning every match as well. There's got to be some balance, and this is a company that you're supposed to be building for Mexico, so you've got to showcase their stars in ways that make sense. So, and I think this is where one of those things is going to come into play for this particular match.
Yeah, and you can jump on to the mixed tag team match next, and the solution here is to cross over people. We got Lola Vice and Mr. Iguana on one side of the ring, and on the other side we got Judgment Day's Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. Um, I I think this is a case where it's a. I think Finn and um, Roxanne, I think, can afford the loss. Uh, Mr. Guada is still as popular as ever. Uh, I wonder if we'll see Demonito. Um, but I think Mr. Iguana pins Finn in this match.
Yeah, it does feel like this is going to be, for a series of matches. If I look back at Triple Mania, it was Bella, JD, and Raquel that came out on top of Iguana, Vice, and Hamburguesa, and so now we drop it down. Now it's not a 3-on-3. Now it's a 2-on-2. Definitely can see Iguana and Vice picking up the win here, and maybe the third match along the lines is a Iguana versus Finn Balor 1-on-1, which I think could be cool. I think they've still got juice in that tank, so we didn't think Iguana was necessarily going to pick up the loss last time. He did, so it seems fair to give him the win this time. And I'm just going to completely skip over the last match because it's one of your classic cluster matches. It's just going to be a good time, 4-on-4, people all over the place. But we'll see how that one rolls out. But that doesn't have as much knock-on effects as the other 5 do. And we're also roughly halfway through the show, and gotta play somebody's theme. Why not AJ Lee's this week? And you're back at Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MP. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and that was AJ Lee's theme, so we might as well just talk about that return on SmackDown. Pretty well telegraphed, but it still happened, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah, it was kind of, as you said, it was telegraphed, but honestly, I'm fine with it. Um, a lot has changed in the 10 years since she left. Uh, so many things that didn't exist now, like the Royal Rumble, a women's Money in the Bank match, uh, 2 different World Championships, 2 different mid card championships, a tag team championship. I could go on, but I'm not going to. And I kind of want to see. I'm glad they're doing a tag team match to kind of break the rust on her and give her a small amount of shine without it being like blowing her up, so that we can see what she has and see if maybe we're interested in a straight up one-on-one match between her and Becky. But I think a large portion of the match will be Punk and Rollins. But it'll be fun watching that, and maybe this isn't just a one-off. Who knows?
Yeah, I've heard that potentially she has signed a longer deal with the WWE to make an actual run of it. But I think everything will just hinge on how well that tag team match goes. I have no doubts that it will be, good. We can always fall back on the other 3 in the match if she does have a significant amount of ring rust, but should be able to get back into it and have a good match between the 4 of them. You jam quite a few of the best into the ring, it's probably going to be a banger out the other side. And yeah, as you say, so many different bits and pieces where it's like, oh, want to go see her in a Rumble, want to go see her in this and that. And maybe she is the next feud for Becky Lynch. Maybe she is the one to take that title. If they do have a one-on-one for the title, I don't really see her losing, depending on where the story is at that point in time. So I guess the future is whatever you want it to be, and there's a lot that can happen.
Heck, we may even have found the 5th member for both teams for the War Games match.
I'm sure they'd love that. Also on the SmackDown all the way at the start, it was Sami Zayn coming out and having a chat to John Cena, issuing an open challenge for the United States Championship, mirroring 10 years ago. Sami coming out and blowing his shoulder in the debut match against John Cena in his United States Open Challenge. And then Zayn and Cena put on a banger. It does end in a no contest, but they fought back and forth, and we're seeing more of that John Cena that we said we wanted to see every match from here on out. And it was a good last one with Sami Zayn, and he also did, a bunch of go to sleep spears, attempted an RKO, so he's putting his callbacks in.
Yeah, and honestly, the match ended the way it needed to. There was no way you could put Sammy over John in this situation, but you also couldn't put John over Sammy. He has 8 appearances left. What are you going to do with the U.S. title in those 8 appearances if you won? So yeah, Brock showing up and destroying him and stuff, leading to the main event of WrestlePalooza, was exactly what it needed to be. And it gives us like one last really great memory of a match for Cena, and I think it also kind of established Sammy, but also there was something also interesting that they want to do, shift his character, because Sammy was getting booed in Chicago during that promo. And that's kind of wild because Cena was getting cheered, and that's something you just don't think, considering the history of what you would expect a Chicago crowd to do for John Cena.
Yeah, it does seem as though, he's full on into it, as you say, very few dates left to go. Not necessarily bulletproof, but people are going to cheer him where he goes. It's his last time in Chicago. We got his last time in New York, his last time in Boston, last time in Australia. There's a lot of last times. You've done the heel stuff in the middle. Now it is just a full celebration of John Cena, and he is getting good receptions wherever he goes. So I think you should just expect the positive reactions, even if it is out of character for a specific crowd. If you're WWE, and probably don't put them up against people you want, or you can't afford to get booed because they're going up against a face John Cena.
Yeah, but it'll be fun watching this play out. But yeah, I'd like to see maybe Sami Zayn have his like edge moment with this crowd, where he was a face but got booed at his hometown, and and like turned that into a massive heel character that got him to the World Championship. So, but I just like to see Sammy like take that next step.
Mhm. Yeah, well, we've been calling for an evolution for Sami Zayn for quite a little while, so I'm not going to say no when another pitch comes up for the next evolution in Sami Zayn. Looking over to the women's division on, we know that it is going to be Sky versus Vikir for the title at WrestlePalooza. There was meant to be a contract signing this week. It gets cancelled. The match just gets made official. We've got Asuka hanging around with Kairi Sane, seemingly full-blown heel, going up against Nikki Bella, possibly attacking Stephanie. Don't know what's happening, but it does seem though Asuka versus Sky is the build, at least.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing. I mean, apparently Stephanie was AWOL, which is why the whole thing was canceled. And then she shows up on NXT with a couple of other heavy hitters, that to set up a 6-woman tag match for next week. So I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see build. I think we do just have to get the title match out of the way, in terms of what they're going to be doing. And once that title match is out of the way, I think they'll be a little bit more open to go with whatever feuds they were wanting to. Obviously, Naomi was meant to be in that slot. Um, so we may have put like a temporary pause on the Sky Asuka stuff just so we can wrap this up, use her over here, and then spin her back off to where she was going. I don't know. We got to see as the weeks go on.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, there's definitely a lot of questions with the women's division for Raw that we still have to figure out. But yeah, it's like in next week you have Stephanie Vacquier, Rhea Ripley, and Tiffany Stratton taking on Fatal Influence. It's like, how are you supposed to believe that Fatal Influence is supposed to beat the reigning women's champion, Rhea Ripley, who's the top women's star, with a title or not, and potentially the next women's heavyweight champion in Stephanie Vacquier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's definitely an interesting one for sure. Um, and if there is time, I'd love to talk about NXT Homecoming, but I do want to just mention what seems to be happening in this main event scene. I talked last week about I don't really know where Jey Uso fits because he is feuding with the Vision on one side. He is seemingly helping out his brother, potentially feuding with MFT on the other side, and this week he ends up, sparing LA Knight at the end of the show.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think Jey Uso knows what he's doing right now. Uh, we got the big moment, which we needed for him at WrestleMania. But then the title reign didn't last that long. Because unfortunately, we needed a match on Saturday Night Main Event. It involved Goldberg, and so go figure. But yeah, it's just really don't know. It's like when we were leading up to War Games last year, and we were trying to figure out how they were going to work the pieces together in getting Jay to like fall in line, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was looking like he wasn't going to and stuff. And then the next week he was immediately in line. So I don't know.
Yeah, the build can definitely be a little bit funky. I think this has sort of thrown a bit of a wrench into the Faces side of things. Once they do assemble their team to be going up against the Vision, we'll see how the match at WrestlePalooza, the tag team match, goes as well. May give us a little bit more of a hint. Maybe they expect Jay to help them with the Vision, but he nopes out and instead goes over and does the other War Games match instead. Maybe leaving them empty with a spot that needs to be filled because he, I don't know, prioritizes the other match. Maybe that's somewhere they can go with that, but we'll see how it all floats out for sure. You mentioned at least one of the matches. NXT next week is a special homecoming theme. One of the matches, Stephanie, Tiffany, and Rhea going up against Fatal Influence, but we also have 3 other matches. Let's talk Ethan Page. He's defending that NXT North American Championship coming off of Worlds Collide, and he'll be going up against NXT alum Tyler Breeze doing so.
It'll be nice to see Tyler Breeze wrestle again. But there's no chance in HE double hockey sticks that he wins the title off of Ethan Page.
But we can dream. Dreams are free. There was also a Women's Tag Team Championship match. Bliss and Flair coming on down to defend against Paxley and Dame. Is this just as one-sided when it comes to predictions as the last?
This is just one-sided as the 6th woman tag is.
Yeah.
There is no way Flair and Bliss lose the titles on NXT. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, I just want to see them like put the shine on the NXT ladies.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, yeah, this isn't good. The titles aren't going nowhere.
And then lastly, one that probably could go either way, DIY were down on NXT. Trick Williams was their target, and returning was Carmelo Hayes, teaming up with Trick Williams in a tag team match.
Yeah, I really don't know what to say here, honestly. I was not expecting a reunion of Tricky Williams and uh, Carmella Hayes. I could see them winning.
Yeah,
So
I think most likely, for me, Trick and Hayes, just because it is the bit more surprising one, and DIY have taken 1 billion losses, so it's not going to be a shocking one there for sure.
the only thing that I could see is maybe they tie it into Tricky's, and I'm saying Tricky intentionally because that's the way Santino did. They tie it into his TNA World Title match at Bound for Glory against Mike Santana, and Mike Santana gets involved.
Maybe. Well, we will all know after next week, but that is all we have time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
Bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/wrestling R&D up, our Twitter page, twitter.com/wrestling R&D up, or our YouTube page, youtube.com/wrestling RND up, and we will catch you next week.